नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुताः पदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं प्रजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये पञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमः ओम विष्णुपादाय नमः ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषनिवादि पाश्चात्य कम करोति वाचालम अंगुम लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं। Hare Krishna. So thank you all for joining. Actually, I was reminded about the class. Actually, in our last class, we completed the 12th chapter, 9.12, and it was brought to my attention, which I overlooked, that there were some last 15 verses of the 11th chapter which we had not completed. So I overlooked that and we moved directly to the 12th chapter. So I intend to cover what we left out of the 11th chapter. The 11th chapter is called Lord Ramchandra Rules the World. So it's not a very long set of verses, just around 15 odd verses, but a few very important, profound lessons for all of us. So we will discuss that a bit. So when we discussed the 11th chapter of Lord Ramchandra's rule, a quick recollection, that we were talking about how after returning to Ayodhya, what are the pastimes after the Vanvas, what are the pastimes that Lord Sri Ramachandra performed. We heard about his extraordinary rule, his perfect Ramaraja, how his kingdom was so very prosperous, that everything was so wonderful that nobody had to suffer the threefold miseries. Of course, at one point we also discussed how Sita Devi, she entered into the earth. Sita Devi was abandoned by Ramachandra on the external pretext of a washerman's accusation, and Mother Sita, she was sent to the ashram of Valmiki Muni, where pregnant Mother Sita gave birth to the two children of Lord Ram, Lava and Kush. Similarly, Bharat, Shatrughna, Lakshmana also had two sons each. We spoke also about how Shatrughna killed Lavanasur, the son of the Madhu demon, and he established Mathura as a very, very ancient city. So we came to the point of what Lord Ramchandra did after the disappearance of Sita Devi. This we discussed also briefly earlier, and how that intense feeling of separation that Lord Ramchandra experienced. We also discussed that these feelings are not material feelings, these feelings are spiritual. And in spiritual consciousness, even intense separation is an ecstasy. At an external level, it may show all the symptoms of uh, material misery, but deep inside the heart, all feelings of intense separation from the beloved, spiritual separation from the beloved, are actually uh, very intimate experience of love and intense experience of bliss. We also discussed how after Sita Devi's disappearance, Lord Ramchandra became a perfect brahmachari. In the sense he observed brahmacharya, not that he became a brahmachari in the sense that he joined an ashram, but he was following perfect brahmacharya, which means he did not marry another lady. And 13,000 years Lord Ramchandra was engaged in performing a Agnihotra Yajna. Eventually, Lord Ramchandra went back to the spiritual world of Saket Dham, which is beyond the Brahma Jyoti. At this particular point, Lord Shukadev Goswami is telling Maharaj Parikshit of a very interesting point. And he says that please do not think that killing of powerful demons like Ravan and building a bridge across the ocean to Lanka, do not think that these are actually the factual glories of the Lord. We all get very excited by a display of power. This point also we touched very briefly last time. But it's very important. We get very excited. Oh, he did this, he did that. But are these really, uh, you know, certificates of godhood? Some demons had such extraordinary power. Can you imagine Hiranyaksha had exploited the earth to the point that he caused the whole earth to go off its orbit and fall into the Garbhodok Ocean. Demon. Ravan himself was so powerful that at one point he lifted, he had the power to lift Kailash. At one point he was lifting and, Mother Parvati became upset and she said, see what your devotee is doing nonsense. Is this even appropriate to do so? Lord Shiva put his toe down and the whole Kailash came crushing on Ravan. But nonetheless, he was so extraordinarily powerful. So this display of strength, extraordinary pastimes, yes, they are extraordinary. They are definitely millions of times more display of opulence and potency than a common living entity. But nonetheless, they are not actually the measure of the Supreme Personality. The power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is so vast, so unlimited. We are like a frog in a well. Correct? A frog which is in a well, the imagination of the frog in the well is limited to the well. Yeah, you know that story of the frog from the ocean who once visited the frog in the well, and the frog in the well asked him, "Where are you from?" "I'm from Pacific Ocean." "Ah, ocean? What is the ocean?" "Oh, it's a big body of water." "How big?" "More bigger than my well." Yeah, it's bigger than your well." "How much bigger?" 2 feet bigger?" No, much bigger. 10 feet bigger?" No, much bigger. Twice, thrice. Just couldn't fathom. You cannot imagine. There is no end to the ocean. So, of course, these pastimes are there to attract and, awe us. But what is actually the power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Hmm? The Brahma Samhita very beautifully describes one breath from Mahavishnu, who is the expansion of the expansion of the expansion of Krishna. All universes get created. परस्य शक्तिर्विविधैव श्रूयते स्वाभाविकी ज्ञान बलक्रिया च. The Lord's potencies, just by the Lord's desires, are just automatically working. They are just doing such kind of fantastic work. We cannot even fathom it. So, Sukadeva Goswami is telling Parikshit Maharaj, this is Parikshit Maharaj, this is not the real glory. Is this really such a big thing for the Supreme Lord who breathes out universes, crossing a bridge, crossing the ocean with a bridge? Is that, indeed so? Please understand, Sukadeva Goswami says, the Supreme Lord is asama urdhva, asama urdhva. No equal, nobody superior. Actually, Lord Ram, in his human-like pastimes, showed as if he needed to take help from monkeys, take help from bears. The Lord performs Leela like that. When the Lord performs these extraordinary Leelas, the Lord engages so many of his devotees and gives them an opportunity to serve him. Was it actually needed? There was this conversation between Hanuman and Sita. And we discussed that also briefly, I think, where, Hanuman is trying to, tell Sita, I will take you back. And Sita is saying, no, no, she's giving excuses, but she doesn't want to spoil the plan. Actually, Sita herself is so competent, being the goddess of fortune. She would have burnt Ravana instantly. What to speak of Ramachandra's potencies? So all these very interesting, beautiful pastimes are happening by the will of the Lord. The Lord is scripting it, the Lord is allowing it to happen. And in fact, in Leelas like this, even the demons are actually devotees in disguise. They are cooperating with the Lord to put up a very wonderful, enjoyable script, which the Lord and his devotees enact for the Lord's pleasure. So the Lord doesn't have to take help from anybody to kill Ravana. The Lord could have killed Ravana at any moment, any time. The amount of control that the Lord has on anything or everything is also something which is beyond any living entity's ability to fathom. Andantarastha cha paramanu chayantarastham govindamadi purusham tamaham. As the Paramatma, the Lord is situated not only in the heart of every living entity, but in every atomic and subatomic particle. So where is it that the Lord is not present? What is it that the Lord doesn't know? What is it that the Lord cannot change in a moment? If He is in every atom and if He is in every subatomic particle. Okay. The Lord is creating beautiful pastimes to give us subject matter to be attracted to, so that by hearing we may become purified. Because when we hear these beautiful pastimes, to our imagination, wow, the true power and glory of God nobody can fathom. But this itself, wow. Huh? And that's why Shukadeva Goswami says, Maharaj Yudhishthir, Lord Ram's beautiful pastimes, his name, his form, his qualities and pastimes, which are glorified even in the assemblies of great kings, even up to today. Huh? It started from the Treta Yuga, but even up to today, which is Dwapar Yuga end, Lord Ram's spotless glories are being chanted. And the chanting of the name, form, qualities, and pastimes of the Lord is still extremely effective. For what? It is a detergent. Huh? What kind of detergent? Not to make the clothes clean. Huh? Cheto darpanamarjanam bhavamahadavagni nirvapanam Shriya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu. Great sages like Markandeya Rishi sing his glories because by singing these glories, Gayanti Agagnam. Aga means sin, Gnam means destroying of sins. Rishayo Dig Ivendra Pattam. All the great sages are able to conquer all attraction to matter by chanting the glories of Lord Raghupati, whose lotus feet are worshipped by the crowns of the devatas, which are continuously going in front of him. The Bhagavatam mentions when Lord Ramachandra went back to the spiritual world, he didn't go alone. And this is another beautiful benediction when the Lord comes to this world. Of course, he brings a lot of eternal associates also from the spiritual world. Because he needs trained players, he needs pure devotees to participate in his Leela to make, play prominent roles. But not only that, the Lord sends to the planet, or not necessarily sends to the planet, he brings into the scene, into the story, into the script, so many sadhakas also to give them an opportunity to become attracted to him, to give them an opportunity to become perfected. Because it is not every other day that the Supreme Personality of Godhead comes and performs his pastime. Isn't it? Lord Ramchandra is there. So many sages come. So many great souls come. So many sadhakas also come. So many devotees who have been struggling, practicing bhakti, struggling for so many lifetimes. Lord Ramchandra, knowing their sincere desire in their heart, gives them an opportunity to somehow connect with him in this manifest Leela. And by seeing the Lord, the Bhagavatam mentions, those who, because they had some relationship with Ramachandra, they would sit with him, they would talk to him, they would joke with him. Huh? Somehow or the other, all these people who served Ramachandra Bhagavan, even in a sense of friendship, what to speak of great worship and surrender, in his manifest pastimes, they also were given an opportunity. When the Lord wound up his pastimes, not only his eternal associates went back, but the Lord gathered so many more living entities. Come, you also come. Now you are purified. Now you are also qualified to go back home, back to God. That is the Leela. Correct? So some of us may be wondering, Prabhu, I am not so fortunate. What do I do? I am struggling. I have to wait now for a long, long time. But actually, that is not true either. It is not true. Because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela who's not different from Lord Krishna, who's not different from Lord Ramchandra, who's Radha and Krishna combined, hasn't been fully wound up yet. Hasn't been wound up. In fact, it is about to catch up and go up. Even though the Lord personally has disappeared from our vision, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela hasn't wound up. It will go on for 10,000 years. The collection of living entities en masse, take them back home, back to Godhead. Lord Krishna went, he took all the Brajvasis and so many other devotees back with him. Ramchandra went, he took Ayodhyavasis and so many other entities whom he attracted. That all happened within a short time of the Lord's disappearance. But Lord Chaitanya has extended mercy. For 10,000 years after the Lord's disappearance, living entities will continue to be delivered. That is why this opportunity the Lord has extended to all of us of how we can actually participate in the Lord's pastimes, just like the Vanaras. Externally, the Vanaras may seem so unsophisticated, isn't it? Monkeys. They were not even fighting with proper weapons. They were fighting with sticks, boulders, trees. They would just jump on the head, scratch the demons, bite them like monkeys do, hit them with stones. So in Ram Leela, Lord Ramchandra took the help of monkeys. Did he actually need to take help of monkeys? No. That's what the Bhagavatam says. He doesn't need to take help. He's competent. He's engaging them. By that seva, they will be purified and they can go back home, back to God. So Lord Chaitanya, in a very humble mood, says, oh, I am not competent to give the fruits of love of God to everybody. I need help. Does the Lord need help? Out of his compassion, the Lord feels he needs help. I need distributors. I want to collect millions of living entities, but I need distributors. How I can go each and every person? So through the parampara, that opportunity to distribute the holy name, to take the message of Krishna to living entities, has been extended by Lord Krishna in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to all of us. Think about this deeply. This is not a light statement. We are in the time where the Leela is still playing out. We still have the opportunity to participate in it, do whatever we can. We can even just be a small monkey. We don't have to be Hanuman. Okay. Don't frustrate yourself thinking I can't become Hanuman. Okay. Be a squirrel. You can just be that monkey who went boldly into the battlefield and was killed on day one of the fight by getting crushed under the feet of a demon. Still, by sacrificing their life for the cause of Ramchandra, they got perfection. So whatever way we can make ourselves available to the Lord rewards those who willingly become instruments of compassion in His hands. So that opportunity is very much available. We hope, very unlikely that we have come down from the spiritual world, but at least maybe we have had some association with the practice of devotional service, and now Lord Krishna is giving us this opportunity to be in a situation at a time and a place where we can directly connect with His pastimes and can be pulled by the simple, even a monkey-like, squirrel-like effort can be pulled towards His lotus feet. That is the force of the pastime. Just like the forces of Maya can sweep a conditioned soul off his feet, the path to hell. Similarly, the force of the waves of the Lord's compassion, especially in such extraordinary times, can sweep us across the ocean of material existence and throw us on the banks of Vaikuntha. So it's up to us. Sukadeva Goswami says, anyone who orally receives the narration about Lord Ramchandra's characteristics and pastimes will be freed from the disease of envy. Purusho Ramacharitam Shravanair Upadharayan Anrishamya Parorajan Karma Bandhair Vimuchate. One first becomes free from envy and then one becomes free from all material entanglement. Very important point. If one wants to technically analyze what is the purificatory effect that hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord provides, of course, eventual goal is prema. But what exactly is at the root of our material existence? What is it that is keeping us conditioned souls anchored to material existence? The answer is envy. Envy of the Lord, which also manifests as envy towards other living entities, is the main reason, is the main disease which keeps us in the material. That's why this qualification of devotion, many places, Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, anasuyave, you are not envious. Arjuna, you are qualified to hear this wisdom because you are not envious. Who is an envious person? A person who is always thinking about I, me, and mine is an envious person. Because whenever they see something good happening to others, they start feeling so disturbed in their consciousness. Why him? Why not me? I deserve it. I am good. Seeing the whole world always through the lens of one's own false ego. One has to see when one is a very neophyte devotee, one has this very strong mentality that even within the realm of devotional service, we like or dislike things basis whether they give us happiness or they don't give us happiness. It's still about us. Oh, that devotee is a nice devotee. Why? Oh, he gave me such nice prasad that day. And that person is very bad. I wanted to go into DT kitchen and take some Mahaprasad. He didn't allow me. Actually, I just wanted for service. I just wanted some nectar. He didn't. So our calculation always, even as sadhakas, if it is still based on my enjoyment, my happiness, those who contribute and serve to my happiness are good. Those who work contrary to my happiness are. And the moment somebody becomes extraordinarily empowered, successful, happy, in a situation where we are not gaining, but that other person is getting glorified, then we speak. That is the Kanishta mentality. Kanishta is all about I, me, and mine. For them, Krishna consciousness is best because I am practicing it. But to receive Krishna's mercy, one has to be able to overcome this envy. One has to stop looking at the world from the lens of one's own false ego, but rather one has to see the genuine good qualities of others, especially in the Lord and the devotees, by keeping one's own false ego aside. One should be able to independently appreciate and value the good qualities of others. That is not possible without envy. Of course, one can practice that. Siddhanta Saraswati, it is said, when two devotees would quarrel, and oftentimes the basis of quarrel is not just a material disagreement. Oftentimes it's because behind the scene there is a feeling of envy amongst the devotees. Of course, they don't say it like that. When we argue very philosophically as if, I am trying to protect the pure principles of our teachings, and the other person is also, no, I know the real pure teachings. Each one is trying to show they are wonderful and the other person is bad. But actually, what is happening behind the scenes, oftentimes, not always, oftentimes, is that one or both of them are actually influenced by the disease of envy. And one wants to just pull the other person down. As long as one has this kind of a neophyte mentality, one will remain a neophyte. One has to make a sincere effort to rise above this platform sincere effort to keep our own interest aside and appreciate devotees, appreciate Krishna for what they are. When one practices that, when one starts finding happiness in the happiness of others, pain in the pain of others, paradukka dukhi, that is the quality of a Vaishnava. Those kind of qualities make the soul attractive in the eyes of Krishna. That is when Krishna's mercy will come to pick up that living entity. If we remain on the neophyte platform, we are unable to attract Krishna's attention. Even if you are externally doing, it's not that no mercy will come. Of course, some mercy is coming, but if you really want Krishna, and if you really want Krishna to pick us up, Krishna is looking for the demonstration of the giving up of envy. And the aim of our hearing and chanting, of course, ultimate aim is to eternally hear and chant the glories of the Lord, because they give great pleasure to our heart and they give great pleasure to the Lord when we hear His glories. In our conditioned state, we want that even though our heart may not feel so nice, by hearing the glories of the Lord repeatedly, the pure glories, Amala Harinam, Amiya Vilasa, and the heart repeatedly hears the holy name, the holy pastimes of the Supreme Lord, gradually the dirt is removed and eventually the envy is also removed. When envy disappears, the false ego crumbles. When one no longer holds on to one's selfish sense of identity, it actually is the cause of suffering but pretends itself to be our well-wishing friend. When that crumbles, all our karma also crumbles with it. Shrunvatam sakata Krishna punya shravana kirtana hridayantasto hi abhadrani vidunoti surutsatam tada rajastamo bhamo kama lobhadayasye चेत एतै रदा विद्यम सितम सत्वे प्रसीदति एवं प्रसन्न मनसो भगवत भक्ति योगतः भगवत तत्व विज्ञानम मुक्त संगस्य जायते भिद्यन्ते हृदय ग्रंथि छिद्यन्ति सर्व संशय क्षीयन्ति चास्य कर्माणि पश्य एवात्मनस्य. Very beautifully, this whole process is described. How chanting eventually will dispel all ignorance, destroy envy, destroy karma. Pashya evatmanishwari. Eventually giving one direct realization of oneself as part and parcel of the Supreme Person. That's what we want. In this world, each and every person, why each and every person? Because this material world is a place where diseased people are there. If you are fully healthy, you won't be in the material world unless you have been sent down to deliver. So, by definition, right? Just like one goes into a jail, one cannot expect genuinely saintly people to be inside the. No, you expect sinful criminals only to be in the prosecuted criminals only to be inside the jail. Even in spiritual life, sometimes devotees are envious of each other, and it's a very, very dangerous situation. Sometimes we become envious of the extraordinary empowerment that Krishna has given to other devotees. Radhanath Maharaj so many times says that. When a peer of ours, a friend of ours is given extraordinary mercy by the Lord or by the Guru, Krishna in the heart is carefully watching. Let me see how this devotee is responding to the great success or glorification of that other devotee. From inside is waiting to see. And if we close our heart, doesn't deserve, he's like this, he's like that, why like this? Why Guru cannot understand? He's such a crook. I am the real one who should be getting this. Only if I had the opportunity, I would have shown I'm better than him. Or we are feeling, oh, Krishna is so wonderful. He has done such wonderful service. The Lord has shown such wonderful reciprocation. This is one beautiful thing about Krishna consciousness. Simply by being happy of seeing the success of others, Krishna becomes so pleased that he blesses us. So simple, isn't it? Huh? But for an envious heart, extremely difficult. So simple. Simple yet difficult. Why? Because our heart is complicated. That's a very beautiful story. I was hearing a class in the morning. How much the lens of how we look at the world matters. And we have to have the right lens. Once Kumbhakarna and Ravan were discussing. So this happened at the time, I think, when the war was going on. Ravan woke up Kumbhakarna and this whole thing came, and Ravan said that, Kumbhakarna, I woke you up because I need your help. Help? Yes. Some humans have come to attack Lanka, so I need your help. Huh? When did you start needing help to fight humans? Which human? He says Ram. Ram? Ramchandra of Ayodhya? Yes. Huh? Because Kumbhakarna knew who Ramchandra is. He said, what did you do to him? No, nothing much. Nothing. No, tell. Ramchandra attacking him, he must have done something. The usual things that we do, I just abducted his wife. Abducted? You couldn't even fight and go straight, you abducted. Huh? What did you do? No, I took the dress of a hermit and I went and I asked for Dakshina, then I grabbed her and brought her in. And I was like, you have made such a big blunder. But he asked Ravan one question. Why did you take the role of a sadhu? That wasn't such a nice thing. No, first of all, you take the role of a sadhu. And Ravan pretends as if his false ego is such. He didn't want to show that it is his lust because of which he has brought Sita. You know what? The way he explains, this is how the false ego plays games. Ravan says, no, actually, I had no interest. What did he do to Shurpanka? They cut off the nose. He didn't tell the first half of the story of what Shurpanka did. This is the demoniac, envious, justifying mind. The lusty intelligence. They only tell you what you want to hear. Only do what will sound nice to your false ego. I only want to avenge my sister's offense. Of course, Kumbhakarna could see through all of that. Then Kumbhakarna tells him that, okay, but why did you have to take the form of a sadhu? You are unnecessarily spoiling the name of sadhus. By acting like a sadhu and then you captured her and brought her. You could have taken any form. When Lord Ram was away, why didn't you take a form of Ram himself? You could have taken a form of Ram, and you could have gone there. Sita would have not known, she would have welcomed you, and you could have done whatever you want with her. And in that way, your revenge would have been complete. She would have not known, and then you could have gone. Game over. Why you didn't do that, brother? Why, I would have thought that this basic idea would have crossed your mind. Ravan says, yeah, actually that idea crossed my mind. It's not that I didn't think of that idea. I took the form of Lord Ram. But as soon as I took the form of Lord Ram, when I took that form of Lord Ram, and in the meditation of Lord Ram, I took that form, you know what happened? Every woman started appearing like a mother to me. Because that is Lord Ramchandra's vision. For Lord Ramchandra, other than his wife, everyone else is his mother. So as soon as I took the form of Ram, every woman started appearing, including Sita, because Sita is not his wife, Ravan's wife. So when that happened, that I started even seeing Sita, then I realized I cannot take this form and abduct Sita. I have to do something else. I mean, what I'm trying to come to is the false ego creates such a lens that the whole world is perceived through the lens of our false ego. And envy is the most fundamental factor which influences the false ego. That is why by repeatedly with faith, hearing Bhagavad Katha and the holy name in the association of sincere, pure souls is the most effective and practically the only medicine which can cleanse this envy from the heart of the living entity. As long as we are affected by envy, we cannot be delivered. We are not delivered simply on the basis of a display of skills and achievements. Krishna, I did this for you. Krishna, I did that for you. Krishna is only giving success. Krishna is only giving you ability. How can you impress Krishna by that? That's not what Krishna is ultimately assessing you by. Without giving up envy and without genuinely pleasing the Lord. And the Lord is not genuinely pleased as long as the service is done free of envy. That's why love towards the Lord and a genuine sense of friendliness and service attitude towards all living entities is a non-negotiable requirement of one's consciousness if one wants to get the visa to the spiritual world. If you are envious of even little success of devotees in the material world, imagine Radha Maharaj would say, if Krishna takes you to the spiritual world, you will be the most miserable person there. Why? Because everyone is better than you. Everyone is super excellent. You will die of envy there. It is Krishna's mercy, he is not taking you back to God. First, you have to purify. And everyone is happy by seeing other service as more wonderful than theirs. That is why a true devotee is never envious, even of one's enemy, because he knows that the Lord is one's eternal protector. Anyone who continuously, regularly, constantly hears and chants the glories of the Lord, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, becomes free from this envy and becomes eligible to go back to God. So this is one thing, if anyone wants to assess their spiritual advancement genuinely, it is a very simple self-check. You don't have to publish your results. You just look at your own heart and see, are you happy at the happiness of others and success of others, or are you feeling envious? And we can also observe that in others, not so much to judge others, but if we see that the external manifestation of envy is a continuous chatter of compare, criticize, complain, the three cancers, the three C's: criticize, compare, complain. Tattenukampam susumikshmano bhunjanamevatmakritam vipatam. Being very grateful and serving the Lord with great humility and accepting everything as the Lord's. So after explaining all this, Parikshit Maharaj asked Shukadeva Goswami, can you tell me something about how the Lord would conduct himself? How did he behave with his brothers? What was the nature of the relationship? And how did the brothers of Ramchandra and the Ayodhya Vasis deal with Ramchandra? What was the nature of their relationship? Please explain this to me. So one very interesting thing Shukadeva Goswami says. He says, after Ramchandra assumed the throne, he did two things. First, he sent all his brothers in different directions to conquer the empire, to expand the empire. So Bharat in one direction, Shatrugna in one direction, Lakshmana in another direction. And he remained in Ayodhya to govern. He remained in the capital to govern. And he gave opportunity and his personal association to the Ayodhya Vasis. Very interesting. So can we say that actually the Lord, what is this? The brothers were, so much more dear to him. But he sent the brothers away. But he gave his personal association to the Ayodhya Vasis. Definitely Ayodhya Vasis are dear, but was more dear, the brothers are more dear, but he sent them away on service. So, what is the lesson for us? One should not mistakenly think that because the Lord sent the brothers away and he spent time with the citizens, that they were more dear, which means the citizens are more dear. The Lord is merciful to everyone, and the Lord knows exactly how to favor various levels of devotees. The Lord sent those who are most dear to Him to conquer. What does this mean for us in our context? What is conquering in our context? Conquering in our context is the activity of preaching. The Lord, the empowered spiritual master, sends those who are capable and very, very dear to his heart on his behalf to go out into the world and preach. At an external level, it may seem they are away from the spiritual master, they are away from Krishna, they are away from Ramchandra. But actually, they are most dear to the spiritual master. Why? Because they have accepted the austerity of being away from the Lord, away from the spiritual master to execute the mission, because they actually understand the heart of the spiritual master. That's why a true pure devotee, Prabhupada says, must execute the Lord's order and spread Krishna consciousness. This is the example. This is the lesson all over the world. For those who are neophyte devotees, they may want to enjoy the association of the Guru. Right? You understand the meaning of enjoy? Oh, Guru Maharaj is there. I want to sit next to him. I want to be so nice. That's okay. I mean, I'm not criticizing. I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm just trying to act it out. How we have all been, right? And that phase in life also has its place. That is so much better than dancing after film stars. But that is still the neophyte mentality. And the spiritual master also reciprocates with that level of disciples. And he also gives them his association, speaks to them, encourages them. Because that is what keeps these young disciples going on. But those who are more advanced, more mature, they are willing to serve the spiritual master in separation. Real advancement is to take responsibility on behalf of Guru and Krishna. And those who do that are never separated from the spiritual master, never separated from Krishna. Kanishta Adhikaris do not preach. They want to remain always close to the deity, close to the Guru. But that itself will not bring favor of the Lord. The Lord gives that opportunity to the neophytes to give that association, but eventually He expects us to grow up in Krishna consciousness. So that's a very wonderful lesson. So sharing that also. And there's the last part of this chapter, and we'll conclude with that. Lord Ramchandra would roam around Ayodhya. He would inspect the city, make sure everything is in order. The city was very, very beautiful. We discussed this. There were palaces, palace gates, assembly houses, meeting places, temples. Beautiful golden pots would be decorating, water pots, flags would be there, made of cloth and beautiful leaves and flowers. The gates were decorated with banana and betel nut trees. Very, very beautiful. And as the Lord would roam the streets, the various respected members of the society would come forward, offer prayers to the Lord. From the terraces of their multi-story buildings, they would shower flowers on the Lord. And in that way, the Lord would have this kind of very wonderful reciprocation with the Ayodhya Vasis. And Lord Ramchandra would enter the palace, and his palace has also been beautifully described with great valuable treasures. Sitting places made of corals, pillars of the palace made of Vaidurya Mani, floors made of markatamani based on a foundation of marble, beautiful decorations of garlands, flags, pearls, lamps, incense everywhere. In such a very beautiful, extremely peaceful situation, Lord Ram joyfully resided with Sita Devi in that palace. The chapter ends with Sukadeva Goswami saying, without transgressing dharma, Ram, whose lotus feet are worshipped by devotees in meditation, enjoyed transcendental pleasure as long as he wanted. And eventually he wound up his beautiful pastimes by his own sweet will. The Lord is not forced to act in a particular way based on how we are forced by circumstance or karma. The Lord, whatever he does, even what may seem like a calamity, is all simply a manifestation of his own divine will, which is executed by his internal potential. Thank you very much. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam. Any questions or comments? So thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaved Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki. Thank you, Tarun Prabhu, Sarva Lakshmi Mataji, Hari Hari.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Sridharji,
Thank you,
Shalini
Prabhuji.
Mataji,
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Suraj, Hari Hari, Sini Mataji, Archana ji.
Krishna Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare
Jnana
Krishna,
Chandran ji.
Prabhu.
Who's there in this Jnana Chandran, this one? Mataji? Who's connecting?
Yeah, that's me, Prabhu. You might have seen me during Praveen Bhai's lamp services, right?
I see, I see. What is your name? Hare Krishna, Archana
Jnana.
Mataji. Huh?
You can call me Jnana, Prabhu.
Jnana. Okay, okay. Thank you so much, Mataji. Yes, yes. Thank you, Archana ji and everyone. Hari
Hare
Bol.
Krishna, Prabhu.
Jai Mataji, Hari Bol. Okay, I'll see you on Tuesday, Krishna willing.